change from one day to another, but discipline is consistent. It
Mhm.
keeps you driving, keeps you, like, to quote my man Rocky Balboa, it keeps you moving forward. Because sometimes there be days where, we get in the morning, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to run. I don't want to do my fast cardio. I don't want to eat this. I want to just enjoy my moment here, laying in the bed and sleeping. But
Mm.
you have to have that discipline to get you out of that bed, to keep you doing what you got to do. Because, like I said again, now you are going to be in the IFB Pro. You got to step up. You got to compete with these ladies that are in here, like the Sarah Vilgas, the Taya Cuejos, all these top competitors, and see how you stack against them. So now you did the USA's, and I said I interviewed a couple of ladies that did it. What was the critique from the judges after the show? Because often y'all get the critique, see what the feedback is from what you need to work on.
Okay. I remember they were talking to me about overall growth and development in my upper back. Um, and then my lat insertion, because my upper back is extremely peeled. Like I was vascular like 6 weeks out. You know what I mean? Like I've always had good vascularity in my upper back, but overall development in my upper body, which was the craziest thing for me to hear from them. Like, because I had an ACL meniscus tear in surgery when I was in high school, and I
Ooh.
always thought my legs were the thing that weren't catching up. They said I was more leg dominant, and I'm like, you know what? I can let that go now because I always thought my legs weren't catching up. You know what I mean? So they were just saying overall upper back development and then lat insertions. They said I had great cap delts. And overall arm development, like triceps and biceps. So yeah. Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah, often the back's the most important thing you got to work on, because everything else could be on point, but if that back's not full, it's not wide, it's not deep, not dense, then that could hurt you in the places. And you were double dipping at USA's. You did women's bodybuilding and physique, because at least Leslie or Worthing, I interviewed her. Y'all were in the overall, and you won in your class in women's physique. I interviewed Katie Gallant, who also won that. Why
Mhm.
did you want to do that? Both, wait for me, look for me. You could have done pretty well in women's physique alone.
Yeah. Um, so I remember we were signing up to go to Louisiana. And so my coach and I decided that if we're going to go that far down to Louisiana, you might as well do both. And turns out I did really well in both. And like, if we are going from North Carolina all the way to California, why don't you just, you've already qualified for both. Why don't you just do both? Because the odds of me like getting a pro card were higher if I at least tried in both. You know what I mean? Like, I've always loved, like, if you look all the way back to like when I was 16 or 17 or 18, when I was like trying to figure out my posing and stuff like that, I always had like this classic kind of like physique style like posing. Like, I've always fell in love with that style of posing. And so but women's physique, I just knew that my waist is small enough, my proportions were like pretty enough. My posing coach Sharonica Hinton, like, she's obviously way up there with women's physique, and she's like, you are meant for this, you know what I mean, like, do this. And so I obviously I'm going to listen to her advice, and so I just really truly enjoyed both categories. I had a love for both, and so I decided if I'm going to go all the way to California, I'm going to spend a little bit of extra money and just do both categories. And so that's truly the reason why I just have a love for both of them, and I qualified for both, so why not just do both, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Well, Sharonica Hinton. She has served our country. She actually stationed here in North Carolina. She's stationed at Bragg, now Liberty. A guy I know, his name is Glenn Young Sr. He also from the military. He did a photo session with her. There's a picture of her with the boxing gloves. I love that one. That's just so beautiful. She has a beautiful physique. She works with a lady. Yeah, she worked with a lady I interviewed a while back, Sherry Priami, Michaela Acock, quite a few other competitors. Number three, and after so long she was away from the sport, get in the top three. I feel this, as you know, how physique is kind of changing. There's a debate of what, there's the new fit model division, excuse me, coming up. And and a lady I follow, she posted how one thing, how you look at Sarah and how her body, it's a great body, but it's kind of not following the criteria of what is set for physique. But the problem is I won't put it on the athletes, it's the judges. They're the ones who supposed to set the standard. If you see someone like Sarah who has styrated glutes, who's like shredded to the bone, then she shouldn't be the champion. When Sharonica Hinton ones, she had a great look, great lines, great femininity. Sharonica's going to make her debut wellness this year. And that's the look that I think it should be the standard for physique. When physique came out, like I said, I've been following about it for a long time. Before you were born, and I really was following women's bodybuilding. But then here comes the other divisions. Wasn't too much of a fan of it, but I have talked to ladies in divisions. Physique has grown with me because many ladies I've interviewed are physique competitors. Figure, I've been reaching out and talking to people like Jessica Ray B is a good example of that. I haven't yet even with her. I would love to one of these days. Bikini, excuse my language. Wellness particularly interests me a little bit. I just, because I said again, my crime, my crime. But yeah, I think there's always some things you got to prove on. Like when you're gym, what's those things you need to work on the most that you like to do, the things you least like to do when you're working out?
And so honestly, it's really hard because I feel like the days that I like to be in the gym kind of shuffle like my favorites. Like I truly like training everything. I don't think I have a least favorite. And I'm not even trying to be that person. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? Like I just love watching like myself grow. I like watching the muscles work. You know what I mean? I like the feeling of each thing. Like if I had a least favorite, it might be like biceps, triceps, because like it's the least active. Again, I told you I was an athlete my entire life. I like doing leg days. I like being totally broke off. It just really reminds me of when I was in the military and I was doing like 11-mile runs, and then I still had to do all this crazy activity after, and I'd be trying to keep my composure. And on my first deployment, it was like we had a PT before 5 in the morning because it was already 100+ degrees outside. And so I'd be laying on my ground, like in my room, like, cause I didn't want to lose my composure, like in front of my platoon, cause I was the only woman. And so I'm just laying there on my ground. I'm like, oh, I made it through that. You know what I mean? So like for me, like it just gives me this sense of like, I've made it through so much that like when I train legs and I'm just like wanting to lay on the ground and trying to catch my composure, like I'm just like, this reminds me of the things that I wish I was doing. You know what I mean? Like when I was on deployments, I wish I was here training legs, eating like routinely. And so for me, like I truly like training everything. If I had a least favorite, maybe the least active movements, like I love training shoulders, you know what I mean? So most of the time, if I don't like training arms, like I usually pair it with something I like to do, you know what I mean? And so, does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's good, because I understand. I think anytime when I hear somebody, especially when I talk to a lady, and they say, I remember I interviewed one lady. She's Bulgarian. She just turned pro a few years back. She says she loves leg day, and from then on, I would call anybody who loves leg day a mutant. You are a mutant. No one likes leg day. No one likes going through putting that half your body like that and the stress of it. Leg day is like the episode I keep saying is my favorite episode of Chappelle Show with Charlie Murphy, Rick James, and they go back to Eddie's house, and Eddie, then Rick James like say, your couch, Eddie Murphy, every couch, and he beating his legs. That's leg day for a bodybuilder. I
Mhm.
would say whatever what makes you happy, what you like, should be your problem. Everybody works the things that maybe make their improvements, things that make them better, and also work on their weaknesses. Because that thing is, you want to be a complete athlete. Here's the thing about bodybuilding: it's not just about the lifting weights; it's about the rest time, your eating, your diet, your recovery. Make sure you stay hydrated. So again, as people look at this, when we go to the shows and we come to see y'all, like myself, I've been to a show, and I hope we go to another one sometime soon. We see y'all on stage, and we see y'all, especially y'all ladies. As most of the guys who follow me are more fan of your ladies, and we see y'all on stage, y'all shredded, y'all pumped, y'all vascular, but we don't understand what took you there. The diet, the hydration, the training, to get to that level. Sometimes I've seen videos and pictures of. I remember I interviewed a lady who actually fainted at the Olympia 20 years ago on stage. There's so much risk, but not as much reward compared to other sports. Where you look at other sports, hey, you can get Super Bowl coming up. These guys make millions of dollars, but you put more into it. This sport than anything, especially for the women. For the guys, as I say like this I always gonna say this: the men's division, be it open, be it classic, or men's physique, whatever, it's the bottom bitch. They're the ones who get the attention. They're the ones bringing the money and the promotions. Y'all ladies, y'all put so much more into it, but don't get as much back to it. I mean, this is more of a hobby sport than anything. But as
Yep.
long as you love it and you find, you're really find a passion for it, is important. Are you petting somebody over there?
Yeah, my dog. He's hanging out.
What kind of dog is he?
He's a little pit bull.
Oh, he's a pity. What's his name?
His name's Rufus.
Rufus. Hey, Rufus. Who?
He's a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we growing up, we had dogs and stuff, but we moved out here. We moved into town. Can't own. Well, I don't have the patience of a dog for a dog anymore, like I used to when I was younger. But we,
Right.
we all had little dogs and stuff like that. But that's good. But now that you're IFB Pro, now you're about to step into the ring with the big dogs. What is the plan? Do you have a plan, or as my other guys say, are you just a dog chasing cars? You don't want to do when you get one.
So I know that like as well as I did at USA's, like I feel like we always still undercut ourselves regardless of how well we do. We're like, oh, maybe this is why. Maybe this is why I did so well. Versus like, no, you actually did that good job. But I know that in comparison to like Sharonica or any other woman that is at that level. You know what I mean? And like I told you before, I knew when I was younger that I wasn't going to step on stage until I was at the level that I felt was good enough to do what I did. Like if we take that very first competition out, all I did was compete twice and I became a pro. You know what I mean? Like I got one good coach, nationally qualified, and then won my pro cards. And so that's the thing. I know that I'm gonna need to take time off to step on stage and then like qualify for like the Olympia, or you know what I mean, like do well enough, win a pro show, do well enough to go to that level. And so truly I moved from North Carolina to Missouri where I'm at now. I'd say about 8 months ago, 7, 8 months ago, just to get closer to my family. And so I I always said that when I came out here, I was going to work on the things that I wanted to do because I'm not active duty military anymore. I'm not a professional, like I am a professional bodybuilder, but I'm not like totally like that's just my day. That's it. You know what I mean? It's a whole nother job. It's a whole lifestyle. So I'm really now focusing on like getting property and then building like on my land, you know what I mean? And having somewhere that I can plant my roots. So at the time being, I'm still training. Like I'm actually going to train after this, but I'm still training 5 days a week, eating a really routine diet. But what projected wise, when I'm going to compete again, I haven't quite decided yet, because what's important to me now is establishing all the things I didn't get to establish whenever I was active duty military and when I was competing to go pro in bodybuilding, because it took everything of my like being to get out of bed, eat this, train this, do the posing, all that kind of stuff. And so I still work out for my mental health and my obviously my physical health, but to get in here and be routine is super important, especially for like veterans. I'm sure you can talk to a veteran and ask them their schedule, and I guarantee you they still keep those windows within 15 minutes. Like I go to the gym for my mental and my physical, but right now, projected wise, I haven't picked a show that I want to completely commit to. But again, I'm still actively going to the gym, bodybuilding, feeling good, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I recently interviewed a lady. She turned pro in North America. She also was a Marine, Jennifer Buffarelli. But misspelled Jamie. I misspelled her name. I want misspelled her name. I want to apologize. And yeah, I remember when I was younger, I passed the ad fast. And I was thinking about joining the military. I even was talking Marine Corps. I was even doing going out and running, but then, I got a job, and then, that was paying money, and I just say, nah, never mind about that. But yeah, there's so much involved in this sport. The time you put in the investment into it, the work you put into it, and again, the food part about it, like a lot of you bodybuilders are big foodies. Like, tell me, Marissa, after that last show, after USA's, what was that thing that called you? That thing that you desired the most? Share with me, baby.
it was it was a smash burger with fries. I love like so my thing is like I don't crave like pizza. You know what I mean? I don't crave like nasty food. You know what I mean? Like I've always really enjoyed good whole food. Like on most of my cheat meal days, like when I was in prep, I was always like a steak and like a loaded baked potato kind of person. You know what I mean? Like I've always just like a big steak. And so in California, I was just trying to find something that was like at least budget friendly. You know what I mean? I'm like, you have to pay to park everywhere and do which is so much different than where I'm at. You know what I mean? So I just got a smash burger and some fries. And my coach and I and his girlfriend, we walked like down like these roads looking for like a food truck that had some kind of sweets, but we ended up finding this like Hispanic style a storefront that had it was like vanilla ice cream, churros, and like whipped cream and cherries, because I'm a huge sweet tooth. That was the biggest thing for me to kick, like not have when I was in prep. And so we made my first meal in the morning for like months, cream of rice with chocolate protein powder, honey, and almond butter and frozen blueberries. That is the only thing that got me like my sweet tooth fixed, because I couldn't have like real like chocolate, you know what I mean? So yeah, but that was my first meal, was a smash burger and some fries and that vanilla and churro dessert. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just things I gotta be careful because I'm pre-diabetic, but I've been my sugar been pretty good. I got to go back to my doctor get my blood work done again and see how it's at. But I can tell you, I'm a sucker for sweets too. I'm like my man Chris Rock from New Jack City. I'm Pookie. It be calling me, man. Be calling my name, man. Be calling me. And one of my favorites is there's I don't eat it too often because I'm trying to eat a little healthier now. I
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Chinese loving whore. I mean, I go to the buffet. Like a while back, me, my sister, and my oldest nephew, we were out and about because he had to stop by and check on his daughter, my great niece, and we stopped by this place. It's a buffet place. I'm telling you, it was I dipped that plate up, but I didn't eat it all in one day. I ate some the next day and some the next day. It was smart, but I knew it was in that kitchen. It was in there. It was calling me, man. It was calling my name. It was calling me name. Like here we got here. We had here my man KLA the Wanderer. Shout out to KLA. He also does content bodybuilding. He was on yesterday with our podcast. Thank you, Shot, for being there, brother. Says good morning. Good morning to you, brother. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's the thing is that it's tough when you're on a diet, and it's good that your coach gets you a refeed, a cheat meal that helps you out because you just can't deny yourself that. And it's good to eat smart because like one point I was like, when I was taking care of my mom for a long time, and like I said, food was an addiction. Food was something that was a comfort. And when she passed, I saw a picture of myself. It was at a funeral, after a funeral my sister had. I looked at myself, God, it got really big. Went to my doctor, and I wasn't seeing me as often as like I should have. And it said that was like just 20 pounds for 500 pounds. And I just realized, especially I got this thing in my chest. I got issues with my knees right now because I'm thinking about getting surgery, being working as long as I have. And then I said, I have to change some stuff. I did. Cut back on things I used to do. Like I don't eat the, stuff like, go out eat as much. I try to cook at home more. I might eat out every now and then, depending if I go out, if I get a chance to go out, and just make some changes. Right now, went to my doctor last time. I did pick a little more weight because it's the holidays. I'm at 397, and that's really good coming from nearly hitting 400. And doing
Right.
these interviews and talking to you ladies, you really inspire someone like me. As you know, I'm a fan of you ladies. I think, like I said, most people don't think that women with muscle are beautiful, but y'all are beautiful. You're a different form of woman compared to the other any day woman. Like I say, you live in North Carolina. Women around here a little more full, a little more farm, more healthier, about farms, stuff like that. But you just something different. And it was a great opportunity when I started this content, and I met some women in this sport, became friends, and talk and conversate, and we still have friendships. And going to the shows and getting getting your stories and hearing about what it takes to do the sport, because not everybody can do it. And here's the thing: is also society. There's going to be two sides. The people who will say women muscle is just gross, disgusting. Yeah, she's trying to be manly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She got all these tattoos. Like, personally, I'm not a big fan of tattoos. That's your preference. I understand that. But, you are who you are. But it's also the flip side. There's a guy that says, hey, she's kind of exciting me. She's just the big muscles. I get excited. As we call ourselves, we're smokers. We know it. And it's just that you are not just a woman, but you're athlete. You serve your country. And that's the thing. We have to respect that, who you are.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And that's the thing, like, it's just an expression, man. Like, whenever I see people with tattoos, or if they bodybuild, or the way they dress, or, I get clients in all the time that want certain styles. Like, it's just you're painting your personality for people to see without speaking to them. You know what I mean? And so I like, um, I just, yeah, like I said, I give everybody respect because everybody just deserves to hold real estate in this world. I am better than nobody. The same person that you see now is the same woman that you met at like 16. I've just grown up a little bit. I've just had more experiences in life. That doesn't make me better than anybody. Me being a pro doesn't make me better than anybody. I just showed that I was driven towards something, you know what I mean? And I couldn't have done it by myself. You know what I mean? So, um, that's the thing. You could throw a rock and hit somebody that could relate to you or something that you've been through. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of just opening up your heart, not being judgmental. A lot of people think that I'm this hard charger, scary person because I'm heavily tattooed and super muscular, but usually those people are the nicest ones to talk to. You know what I mean? And so, and again, like I think just energy is a big thing. And like I've had a lot of people that come into my booth whenever I tattoo them and I've never met them before, and they can just start opening up and talking to me about anything they've been through in their life, and I can just give them advice or just be that person that they can like listen to. Like, long story short, it's just like I respect everybody for who they are, where they're at in their life, and I just believe that I meet you for a reason. I meet people in the gym for a reason. Nothing in life is a coincidence. You know what I mean? And so my dad always said that people are like cars, but you don't know how full their gas tank is. Maybe they're going to ride with you like through your entire life, or they're just stepping stones into the next part of your life. A lot of people are just in passing, but sometimes it's just, you never know who the people in your life are going to be the lessons, and who are supposed to be there for your entire life. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, who am I to judge? Like, there's only one person that can judge us. You know what I mean? And so, other than that, like, again, I have a lot of respect for you, like losing weight and feeling better, and like working on your health. You know what I mean? Like, there is no comparison. You know what I mean? And so, I respect anybody that just wants to better themselves, because we get one life and one body. So why not do the most with it? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I get you, I get you. Yeah, because we can't be immortal. I wouldn't mind, living a little longer. I know, which be living like this. I don't want to be like an old, decrepit little like quick gatekeeper looking dude, living immortal. But yeah, we only have one life, and we should do the best with what we got. If it's not perfect, then make the improvements. Never ever perfect. You can never. Only only him is perfect. Sometimes he might be have a little imperfect. You have to live for yourself, not for anybody else. And people who judge, like I remember when I post stuff on my social media, guys make comments say, "Hey, why are you gay or something?" I said, no, this is a beautiful woman. This is like a sculpture. It's beautiful. It's something different. And you understand the passion they have for the sport. But ladies I talk to say, hey, there's not a lot of money for when you become a bodybuilder. But they say, don't worry about the money, do it for the passion. Some ladies have to find ways, circumvents to make a living out of it. They do as I call them the beat the meat websites, but hey, that's because they want to further their careers. It's just something to do. And you have your career as a tattoo artist. You do some modeling too. You have a great physique, great look. Like I said, you are a lovely young lady who has a lot of potential and has a great future whatever you go in this life and in this sport. Here we got my man, shout out to my man Lawrence Perkins coming through. He says, good morning, Marissa, George, everyone on the chat. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, thank you, brother.
thank you.
Also, shout out to my man Lawrence again. Says your story matters that will inspire people around the world. Appreciate that again, brother. And he's also is my man Lawrence. I'm calling him female bodybuilding whisper. He's a great guy. He says, Marissa, every day you wake up, you always your own best, including the people who's in your corner as well. And that's a good thing about your dad, because like daughters and fathers have always don't have great relationships. Mothers
Hmm.
and sons still have great relationships. My mother was my woman. There's a quote from an old movie: "A boy best friend is his mother." It's good that you and your dad have this good relationship. You come close to your family. My nephew stays with me. My sister lives down the road. My other sister, she lives 15 miles in Old Fayetteville. That's where Bragg and Liberty's at, and the rest of us kind of scattered. But it's good that now you're trying to get your, as I would say, the 40 acres and a mule. So, respect to that. I wish I had that. And it's good that you found something that you really like and you enjoy.
Hmm.
And, this is a sport. I said again, there's so much involved to it. There's so much work, so much. You have to be determined, you have to be passionate, you have to be consistent, and you have to be disciplined.
Hmm.
Because if you're not, then it's not for everybody. Here we got here from a man. You know, shout out to my man Lawrence. He says, "Shout out to you as well, George." Hey, man, I appreciate that. Thank you. So
Mhm.
we're not gonna hold much too long. I know she's a busy lady. Got work, got things to do. She's kind of talk to me. We appreciate that. She has some stuff that was going on. We were supposed to do an interview last week, but stuff going on. I understand that. Family is important. Focus on them. They are the ones who stand behind you. Things will come and go. But as long as you have family, that's the important thing. Like quote the Kevin Costner from Wired Up. He said like this about. He said, "Women come and go. They die, they live. They run off. But as long as you have family, that's good. That's the same thing with a man. He comes and go. You can always get another boyfriend. You can get another husband. But as long as you have your brothers and sisters, your dad in your corner, and they support you and love you, because have your dad ever come to your show? Ever come to the show yet?
Not yet.
Any of your
Yeah.
siblings?
Yeah, my twin sister. She's been to my shows and stuff like that. So
I don't know if your dad. I don't know if I could be a dad. You're sitting there and you're watching your little girl. And she's in a posing suit, and some guy sitting there and say, "Hey, who's that chick with the tats, the muscle? Wow." I said, "That's my little girl." You'd be like, and your brother jump in, "Hey, Dad, I got you back." Like,
yeah.
hey. So, Marissa, your dad and your brother's kicking some guy's ass out here.
Yeah.
But yeah, but that's good. Your sister supports you, and the rest of your family supports you. And you know what? That's important because I've talked to ladies who told me that, one lady I interviewed a while back, her name is Rama Scottson. She's an IFBB Pro from Great Britain. She told me that how her mother doesn't want to talk about her body, but her dad loves it. He goes there to support her, but her mother doesn't want to talk about it because it's very traditional. They go visit her. She says, like, "What you doing, darling?" And you talk about other stuff, but don't talk about that. And sometimes friends change because you're doing something that's very different. They don't understand. You can't hang out and go, as you're sober now. You can't go to drink. If you do go to the club, you just drink some water or some ginger ale, just chill out. But when you get to sport, there's so much things that's different. Like when you go out, you can't eat everybody what you want to eat. You just have the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving just passed. Won't be long for it's summer. You're in Missouri. That's one of the next to North Carolina, one of the biggest barbecue states. We're better, and and just you have to eat differently from everybody else, and it's hard, and people don't understand. Like I know, your father say, hey, sweetheart, why don't you eat some of this rib, stuff like that? It's good. Now I'm eating my chicken and my rice, and I'm sticking to it because I'm prepping. I want to be able to get on the stage with Sharonica one day, and just rubbing shoulders with these ladies that I have followed and become friends with.
Yeah. And that's the thing. My dad, I remember when I brought up to him that I wanted to be a bodybuilder, and it was I walked into the kitchen and he was making dinner for us like